everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Linda, and if this is your first time here, so glad you found the channel. And if you are back to watch some more Supernatural with me, welcome back. So we are here today to watch Supernatural Season 1, Episode 8, Bugs, which is obviously a very infamous episode within the fandom. A lot of people consider it to be the worst episode of Supernatural. The writers themselves make fun of it a lot throughout the series, and they in a very meta fashion. And it's definitely not my favorite by a long shot, and I think it is my least favorite of season 1. And it's definitely down there in the overall episodes out of the 327 episodes. I'd say it's for sure in like the bottom 5, I would imagine. I haven't ranked it exactly, but it's down there for sure. But having said all that, there are some decent moments throughout it. I like a lot of the stuff with the brothers. But just like the bugs are just creepy. They're not scary. It's just blech. I don't want to look at them. I don't want to watch them crawling around. And just the monster of the week is yeah. So, but we're going to persevere. We're going to get through it. And we're going to see a very young Samandriel, because it's the same actor who plays the son in this. He plays Samandriel later on in the series, but yeah, so we'll see. It'll be fun. We'll get through it together. All right, let's go. Oklahoma, where the wind comes to Finland flame. And the way. Sorry, I'll stop it. I can't see the name or hear the name Oklahoma without singing a little bit of the musical. Sorry.
Man, these are some fat houses, huh? I'd like to live here.
Fat houses?
Too bad you can't afford it. Trapped! I broke my ankle!
Ow.
I'll get a rope! Oh, damn.
No, thank you with all the bugs.
Dustin, I'm here!
Dustin is not.
Oh, God.
So gross. Oh,
we could get day jobs once in a while.
Hunting's our day job.
Exactly.
Pay is crap.
Yeah, but hustling pool? Credit card scams? It's not the most honest thing in the world, Dean.
Well, let's see.
So?
Honest, fun, and easy. It's no contest.
100% with Dean on that.
All right, Oklahoma. Man, work. No time to spend my money.
Travis Weaver?
Yeah, that's right.
Are you the Travis who worked with Uncle Dusty?
Dustin never
Dusty.
mentioned nephews.
Really? No, he sure mentioned you. He said you were the greatest. Do you think it could be this whole mad cow thing?
I don't know. That's what the doctors are saying.
But if it was, he would have acted strange beforehand, like dementia, loss of motor control. You ever notice anything like that?
No. No way.
Looks like there's only room for one.
You want to flip a coin?
Dean, we have no idea what's down there.
All right, I'll go if you're scared. Scared?
Flip the damn coin.
Call it in the air, chicken.
I'm going.
I said I'd go.
I'm going.
All right.
Didn't do rock, paper, scissors. Ew.
So you found some beetles in a hole in the ground. That's shocking, Sam.
What?
I know a good place to start. Kind of hungry for a little barbecue. How about you? What, we can't talk to the locals?
And the free food's got nothing to do with it?
Of course not. I'm a professional.
Nothing wrong with free food.
Growing up in a place like this would freak me out.
Why?
The manicured lawns. How was your day, honey? I'd blow my brains out.
There's nothing wrong with normal.
I'd take our family over normal any day.
Normal has issues.
So you two are interested in Oasis planes?
Yes, sir.
Let me just say.
The
that
first
we
time,
accept
but not the
homeowners
last
of
time
any
in the
race,
show they're
religion,
confused
color,
as a
or
couple.
sexual orientation.
It's very good.
We're brothers.
Our father is getting on in years, and we're just looking for a place for him.
Sure,
Great.
John would love to
Great.
hear
Well,
that.
seniors are welcome too.
Seniors.
Well, yeah, well,
Well, let me just say that we accept homeowners of any race, religion, color, or sexual orientation.
Right. I'm gonna go talk to Larry. Okay, honey?
Oh boy. No
You
to the
also have
tarantula.
3 different
No.
whirlpool tubs to choose from. The hardware for the tubs includes nickel,
can't with
brass,
spiders.
and when you see the kitchen,
Oh.
you can choose from.
He just pushes her out of the way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am so sorry about my son and his pet.
it's no bother.
To be fair, it would be a bother to me. I'd be like, no offense, kid, you're cute and I'm sure you're just lovely, but don't put that tarantula anywhere near me.
Remind you of somebody? Dad?
Dad never treated us like that.
Well, Dad never treated you like that. You were perfect. He was all over my case.
Maybe you had to raise his voice, but sometimes you were out of line.
Right. Right, like when I said I'd rather play soccer than learn bow hunting.
Bow hunting's an important skill. About a year ago, before they broke ground, one of Larry's surveyors dropped dead while on the job. Get this, severe allergic reaction to bee stings.
More bugs.
More bugs. Larry's kid. And bugs for pets.
Matt,
Yeah.
you did try to scare the realtor with a tarantula.
You think he's our Willie?
I don't know. Anything's possible, I guess. What are we doing here?
It's too late to talk to anybody else.
We're gonna squat in an empty house?
I want to try the steam shower. Come on.
I love how offended by things like that Sam still was. Such brothers. But like the idea of like squatting in an empty abandoned house was like, oh, they do it all the time. Eventually, before they get the bunker anyway. Especially in like season 7, that all they do is squat in abandoned houses. I mean, this one isn't exactly abandoned, I guess, but. Oh, the CGI in this scene is something else.
Mandatory insecticide increase in the mosquito population in some areas. Although some residents cite concerns about the high levels of.
You are way too calm about a spider literally crawling out of your hair and down over your eye. Just like, oh. Like it's a housefly that flew too close to her. It always makes me wonder, like, 'cause obviously it was CGI, it makes me wonder, like, did they not explain to the actors how giant that freaking spider is supposed to be? That's the worst CGI ever. Oh boy. It just looks like big black mold or something.
You ever coming out of there? What? Dean, a police call came in on the scanner. Hold on. Someone was found dead 3 blocks from here. Come on.
He's enjoying the steam shower.
The shower is awesome.
Come on.
Let him have his steam shower. He's just enjoying himself.
You know what we have to do, right?
Yeah, get in that house.
See if we got a bug problem.
It's a bug problem. Bugs is a problem. I don't know why I find that outline on the floor to be funny. It's not funny. She's dead. Those are the fakest rubber spiders. Plastic rubber spider things. So terrible. I don't know what happened to the budget in this episode. Maybe they spent it on all the bees that they had to that they filled the room with later on and then ended up having to CGI out and put in more bees. Maybe all their money was spent on the bee budget.
Larry doesn't listen to me.
Why not?
Mostly. He's too disappointed in his freak son.
Well, don't sweat it, because in 2 years, something great's gonna happen.
What?
College. You'll be able to get out of that house and away from your dad.
What kind of advice is that? Kid should stick with his family.
Some tension there. A little bit of projection, just a wee bit. Oh, ew, ew, ew.
Something down there.
Stick your hand in there. Gross. What? I think the worms might be grosser than the skull. Just a box of heads. Yeah, you should probably cover that with a jacket. Walking around campus with your box of skulls.
How could you tell him to just ditch his family like that?
Just, I know what the kid's going through.
How about telling him to respect his old man? How's that for advice?
He ain't come. You think I didn't respect that? I respected him. But no matter what I did, it was never good enough.
So what are you saying? That Dad was disappointed in you?
Was. Is. Always has been.
Why would you think that?
Because I wanted to go to school and live my life, which in our whacked-out family made me the freak.
And you were kind of like the blonde chick of the Munsters.
You know what most dads are when their kids score a full ride? Proud. Most dads don't toss their kids out of the house.
I remember that fight. In fact, I seem to recall a few choice phrases coming out of your mouth.
Truth is, when we finally do find Dad, I don't know if he's even going to want to see me.
Sam, Dad was never disappointed in you. Never. He was scared.
What are you talking about?
He's afraid of what could have happened to you if he wasn't around. He used to swing by Stanford whenever he could. Keep an eye on you. Make sure you were safe.
What?
Yeah.
Why didn't he tell me any of that?
Well, it's a two-way street, dude. You could have picked up the phone.
There's so much to that scene. I'll talk about it afterwards. There's a lot to consider there.
We're students from the university.
No, you're not. You're lying.
Well, truth is...
You know, start sentence with, truth is, liars.
Have you heard of Oasis Plains? It's a housing development near the Atoka Valley.
I like him. He's not a liar. I know the area. As my grandfather put it, on the night, the moon and the sun share the sky as equals. The cavalry first raided our village. They murdered, raped. The next day, the cavalry came again, and the next and the next. Every man, woman, and child still in the village was dead. They say on the sixth night, as the chief of the village lay dying, he whispered to the heavens that no white man would ever tarnish this land again. Nature would rise up and protect the valleys. And on the night of the sixth day, none would survive.
Larry built his neighborhood on cursed land.
And on the sixth night, that's tonight.
If we don't do something, Larry's family will be dead by sunrise. So how do we break a curse?
You don't break a curse. You get out of its way. We gotta get those people out now.
Matt, just listen. You have to get your family out of that house right now, okay?
My dad doesn't listen in the best of circumstances. What am I supposed to tell him?
You gotta make him listen, okay?
Give me the phone. Give me the phone. Matt, under no circumstances are you to tell the truth. They just think you're nuts.
But he's my...
Tell him you have a sharp pain in your right side and you gotta go to the hospital, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Make him listen. What are you thinking?
Hilarious. He'll just think you're nuts. Which he very clearly does.
Look, I don't know who you are, but you're crazy. You come near my boy or my family again, we're gonna have a problem.
You know, if you just grabbed your wife and didn't just stand there staring at the swarm of bugs, you might have made it to your car.
Honey, what's happening?
Bugs? Bugs are happening.
Call 911.
For bugs? There are bugs coming. What are you calling 911 for? What even is the point?
Come on, doors, windows, fireplace, everything, okay?
I love that he says fireplace, and then later they're surprised that the bugs come through the fireplace.
And the power lines.
Made myself.
No signal. You won't get one. They're blanketing the house.
Cell signals can't go through bugs? What? Okay. Cell signals can fly through space and go through walls and windows, but not bugs.
Hopefully, the curse will end at sunrise.
Hopefully.
It doesn't really make sense though, because the curse is that they'll all be dead. And he's like, hopefully the curse will end at sunrise. Well, but the curse is that you're dead. So, I mean, I guess it'll end because they're dead. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're not dead. They don't die. The fireplace, like you said. Sam said, fireplace, and then left the fireplace open. And then looked surprised. At no point during this did you go, oh right, the fireplace, crap! Oh, the bees, the bees. The poor boys and the bees. Set the rope on fire.
Oh, God, what's that?
I don't get... Like, the only thing I can think is that when it, like, goes to commercial break there, like, earlier, that we're meant to think that a bunch more time has passed, but it kind of hasn't. Like, they sort of pick up where they left off, so I have no idea how that... It was literally just midnight, and somehow now it's morning, and, oh my god. Like, I thought, like, before, I was thinking, like, well, maybe, like, maybe a bunch of time is supposed to pass in that, like, little break between, like, when it goes to commercial, right? It's like goes to black and then it comes back, and but it feels like there's not, like, it feels like they're still in the same, like, place. Or maybe it's supposed to be that they, like, they're cowered in the corner there for a while, and it takes a while for the termites to start biting through, and then the termites are biting through really close to the morning. Do you know what I mean? I'll explain it after. I miss stuff, but
I'm going to make damn sure no one lives here again.
You don't seem too upset about it.
Well, this has been the biggest financial disaster of my career, but somehow I really don't care.
I mean, to be fair, you probably will care when your family doesn't have a home or, you know, food and things like that. It's a little important that you have some kind of income, but I get it.
What's this?
I don't know. They kind of weird me out now.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, I should hope so. I want to find Dad.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but I I want to apologize to him. He's just doing the best he could.
Well, don't worry, we'll find him. And you'll apologize. And then within 5 minutes, you guys will beat each other's throats.
He is not wrong. Looking at Dead Man's Blood. I guess the very first time they see him again, they don't immediately fall into arguments. Not immediately, anyway. Pretty close. Alrighty. Okay, so that was Bugs. Sorry. Yeah, so that, okay, so let's start with the problems with this episode, which there's obviously a lot. Like, the story doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and, you know, it's kind of lame to begin with. Yeah, there's just a lot of, and like, again, like I said, you know, bugs are not, they're gross and like off-putting and makes me not want to watch it, but they're not really like scary in that same way. But yeah, so it is what it is. As far as the story goes, it's not the best story in the series for sure. But then on top of that, you know, you have the really terrible CGI, and you have like kind of like characters that we don't really, or I don't know, I don't really care about. Like the dad's just kind of an idiot, and the kid is, I mean, he's fine. Seems like a good kid, I guess. But the most interesting part of the family is how they relate to the boys and John, and those parallels between like Sam and Matt. Obviously, there's parallels there. And we learned some interesting things about John in this episode. We learned that he was apparently tough on Sam growing up because Sam didn't want to hunt, right? Sam's pretty much never wanted to hunt. That's pretty established throughout the entire series, that was never something he wanted as part of his life. And Dean, I feel like as time goes on, we learn more that Dean also, like, there were definitely times in his life where he didn't want to hunt growing up, right? I mean, we see that in season 9 when he's at the boys' home with Sunny. He clearly wants something normal. You know, he does talk about wanting, you know, a home. We see in Dream a Little Dream of Me, you know, he's dreaming about a kind of simple sort of that apple pie life that they talk about. He's dreaming of that with Lisa and Ben. And so I think throughout the series we start to realize that Dean also wanted normal, or at least more normal, something steady and maybe stable and a little more just a better childhood, right? And we don't really see it here. Here we're still seeing Dean as Dean thinks he should be, the good son, the, you know, following John's sort of company line, talking about, you know, you should be respecting your father, and, you know, why are you telling the kid to leave? He should be respecting his old man. And Sam saying, like, yeah, you don't think I respected Dad. And, you know, and a lot of that part of Dean, he hasn't allowed himself to stray from that idea yet. The idea of John as, I mean, for lack of a better description, the idea of John as God, right? We definitely get, all throughout this series, there's tons of parallels about, you know, John the Father and God the Father, and there's a lot of that. Obviously, there's a lot of those parallels. And Dean hasn't really rebelled against that yet, or he hasn't tried to stray from that mindset that what John says is kind of gospel and he needs to follow it. And, you know, obviously in the episodes coming up, he's still very much clinging to that idea. And it isn't until Dead Man's Blood that we actually see him rebel and stand up for himself, and that is an incredible moment. But we'll get there when we get there. For now, you know, we just have we, like I said, we have Dean kind of just towing the company line, and you know, he's saying to Sam that, like, there's obviously hurt there from Dean that Sam left. I think that hurt was always prevalent. It was always there. Dean was always hurt by the fact that Sam chose to leave, because he didn't just choose to leave John, right? Of course, he chose to leave Dean. But having said that, of course, Sam would choose to leave. He never wanted that part of it. He wanted to go to school. He wanted normal. He wanted out, and he had no trouble standing up to John for, like, ever, obviously, and saying what he wanted. But of course, what Dean doesn't talk about here, and you know, we sort of learn later, is that when Sam left, you know, it hurt him a lot too. But having said that, I think, you know, he does also say that he respects the fact that Sam stood up to John and that he didn't, you know, just let him sort of run roughshod over his life. And eventually we do see Dean do that as well, to a certain extent. He certainly stands up to John. He starts to talk back to him. He starts to stand up for himself. But I think throughout the whole series, there's no doubt that Dean's relationship with John is incredibly complicated and very, very layered and very, very, very complicated. And so, but it's interesting to see this version of Dean and John. I mean, obviously John's not here, but Dean's thinking about John. It's interesting to see it at this stage and how much he still is sort of that, like, good son and good soldier, and that whole, he's still very much buying into that mindset at this point. And so that's interesting to see, and it's, you know, knowing how that changes, and that obviously throughout the series, no matter what, Dean still, throughout the entire series, loves John very much, and still, I think, does still respect his father a lot. You know, he's talking to Sam about respecting John here, and I think that Sam does respect John too. I just think that it's different, and obviously the relationships are very, very different with John. But yeah, so it's interesting to see just the sort of the first little hints of that in this episode. So that's something that the episode has going for it. Other than that, it's kind of just weird, creepy bugs and bad CGI. And yeah, it's definitely in my, I'd say probably bottom 5 for sure. There are 2 episodes of the series that I cannot stand at all, and literally will never rewatch if I have any choice. I rewatch them sometimes with other reactors. Like if I'm watching Supernatural reactors, I'll watch them, but even that's hard to do. But Bugs, at least, I will usually rewatch with a reactor. I have rewatched it here and survived. But ironically, the next episode is one of the best episodes of the season, in my opinion. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's Home, and that'll be coming up next. So if you want to see full-length early reactions, come on over to Patreon. The link will be in the description below. And we'd love to see you over there. Okay, thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.